Good morning and welcome to the all-important Championship Sunday here at the Rocky Mountain Mixed Doubles Classic and the final qualifying event for the Canadian Mixed Doubles Trials this time next year. We've had a lot of excellent curling so far, and none of this event would be possible without our excellent sponsors. I'm going to say a big thank you to all the sponsors who've been so instrumental for this entire event. First up, Vision Electronics. We also have Distinctive Homes, Mary's Popcorn Shop, the Bow Valley Credit Union, the Malcolm, Ridgewood, GDS, Wildlife Distillery, and Rocky Mountain Soap Company. So thank you to all of these sponsors for their support of the entire event. Morning to everyone. My name is Desmond Young, and I am here in the commentators booth alongside Andrew Knoll. We will have action and coverage for you all morning. Andrew is a current Golden Bear at the University of Alberta playing lead for Team Tau. He is a two-time Alberta Junior Champion, winning silver at the 2022 Canadian Juniors. He also won a U Sports bronze medal this past March. Good morning and welcome to you, Andrew.
Good morning. It's good to be here. It's good to see some curling.
Absolutely. So out on the ice here today, we have Team Lott and Lott against Team Walker Muyres, and this is actually a rematch of this past year 2024's Mixed Doubles Championship Final.
Definitely a good one too. So let's see if they can bring some good shot making today.
Absolutely. And in that game, Team Lott and Lott did win 7-5 in a pretty close game, so we expect very similar things here today. If nothing else, should go right down to the wire. So as a little bit of a recap here, Team Walker Muyres did qualify through the A event, whereas Lott and Lott qualified through the C event, playing a few extra games to get into the playoffs. As a result, Team Walker and Muyres did get hammer and choice of color for this first end, so they elected to throw the blue stones, and we see Laura Walker's first shot coming into the house here.
Beauty. Way to go.
So we've heard earlier in this week, we have seen that some of the commentators have mentioned that those top 8, top 12 rocks are not the best. And I know in forest curling, we were always told, get your rocks above the tee line so that you can promote them. Why would a rock in that top 8, top 12 area not be very good?
Really, it's just getting in the way of getting your angles into the 4-foot area. It almost acts like another guard, but it's a second guard because there's already one up there from the pre-placed stones. So sometimes it just gets in the way for you. It's nice to be to that shot rock, especially early in the end.
Absolutely, and we can see that Laura Walker already took advantage of that second guard by looping a second one around, making Colton Lott's shot very difficult, but a very nice shot there, indeed.
Yeah. Okay.
Top 4. Line's good.
Also in these quarterfinals today, we have 4 different games going. We got Jones Lane over on sheet 1, and Adams Roby Show. Then on sheet 2, we have Botcher Homan versus Gallant and Peterman. And then on sheet 4 as well, we have Garnier Morissette, the other A qualifier, against Armstrong and Griffith.
And this Championship Sunday, there's a few things to play for. Of course, we have the $30,000 prize pot here that these teams, all 8 of them, are looking to walk away with as much money as possible, and a whole heap of Canadian mixed doubles points. Of course, as well, we do also have a mixed doubles trials berth on the line here, and the interesting part about it is that not all teams are vying for it. So we do have 5 of the teams have already qualified for the trials, and so it's the remaining 3 who are fighting for that one last trials berth that is being allotted at the end of today. So on our sheet, both teams have qualified, and so what we have is the 3 teams who are left is Adams Roby Show on sheet 1,
Yep.
and both teams on sheet 4. So no matter what, one of the teams on sheet 4 will advance to that semi-final round. If Adams and Robichaud lose, then the team who wins on sheet 4 will be the winner of the berth. If Adams Robichaud win, then it will go into the semi-final draw to see who makes it the furthest along. So we'll definitely keep an eye on both of those games and give you updates along the way to see who will be earning that berth to the trials in December.
Your line's good.
Well, it's pretty
Stay
close.
Here. Yep, line a bit. Line's good.
Gotta go a bit. Wait's close.
Close.
T-line.
Yep.
T-line.
Spy. Yep, yes.
Just line, Laura.
Hard.
Just
Hard.
line.
Whoa.
Curl.
You can get a little curl.
That was so close to being really, really good, but it looks like Colton Lott's going to throw some heat at that and maybe make all 3 of those blue stones disappear just as a result of that small chap off. That really shows how the small angles can make such a big difference.
Yeah, just a couple feet light, and it probably would have had that extra curl, and the shot might not be there.
And with only 3 rocks left in this end, that was an unfortunate miss to not clear out the many blue stones. Fortunately, they have one on the top of the button, and as the highest of the pile there, it will be very difficult to remove with only 2 rocks left in this end.
I'm going to give you a little more ice.
I agree.
Good.
I think I'm a little light.
Okay, this is a little wider, so stay with it. Line's good.
Top 8.
Line's good. Stay down for line. Yeah, line.
Top 4.
Okay, well then.
I'm not to it.
Line's good. It's over curling, if anything. You almost want to touch it.
Yeah.
Touch it. Oh, go past it. Make sure you're past it. It's good. Nice shot.
Well, not quite to it, but guards up that 4 foot a little bit. So we'll see what Lott and Lott have to hopefully get shot.
Absolutely, and we can see they're employing the strategy of defending their one lonely rock in the 4 foot, but I'm sure we'll see this throughout the day, and we have seen this all weekend so far, that mixed doubles is a little bit unique, that there's so many rocks in play there that we don't necessarily try to score every end, and sometimes it is a matter of simply giving up 1, or in some cases even just giving up 2. We have heard from some people say that giving up 2 in mixed doubles is essentially like a force, or giving up a 1 score in the conventional fours game, and so it very much looks like that is the tactic they're employing here in the first end.
So I could probably give you what I, or less.
Were you throwing a guard?
I know. Base it off of that?
Yes. This is light.
Line's good. Curl a bit.
It's higher, just fine.
Line's good. Straight.
Sit.
Sit.
Good. Very good.
Nice shot there.
So what do we got to hit? If we want to hit in a perfect world like 2/3, a half's fine.
Yeah. Back line. Is that enough to move it far enough?
It's not super lively, but I guess we only have to move it here. Yeah.
Do you like this
I think
through?
that's, if you get by an inch, you probably almost over curling.
Okay, so 12 and a half in there?
I think 12 and a half. You good with that and try to hit
Yeah, you got no curl.
2/3 to a half?
Is that enough?
Think about there.
Okay. I think it's fresh enough in there. I can get you to curl if
Exactly. Take a spot where you like the look of it.
you need. It is over buried, but I still think it's probably there.
I think if you like aim to just get by this, I think that's good.
What an incredible ice surface we have here today, made by Brian Armstrong and his ice crew, that we
I
can
think you can use that as your
get
guide.
around a over-buried guard and tap a rock far enough to then tap a second rock. So this shot for 4, they very much do think that it is there, and so getting around that guard as close as possible and making that tap into the yellow to hopefully get as many as 4 here. We'll see if the ice agrees with their assessment.
See?
13.
Whoa, close.
When I can.
Yep. Yes! Whoa! Whoa! Yes! Whoa!
All right, by the
Whoa,
first one.
curl! Curl, curl, curl!
Go. Great shot, Laura.
Oh, and an excellent effort there. It looks like 2 blue. We have confirmation out from the ice that looks like it was for 2. So an excellent shot there for Team Lott. And Lott, as we mentioned, giving up 2 in that first end is not all that detrimental. It's not nearly as bad as in the 4s game. And so for their sake, I think they'll be pretty happy that they didn't give up a 4-ender there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, one lonely yellow in the reins, and it can get a little scary sometimes. So they'll be okay with that and come back stronger in the second here. So far on sheet 4, who's that? Armstrong Griffiths scored 1 in the first, and over on sheet 2, big jumble of rocks in the middle. Can't quite see who's sitting shot there. Still in the first end, and same on sheet 1. Another big clump of rocks in the 4-foot area, so we'll give you some more score updates when those come in.
Top button.
Thought a little bit of room early, a little wider than I wanted.
Just line right now, but I think we're close.
Line's good now. Really starting to move now.
T-line.
Okay, line's great. Little straight if you can.
Great shot, Laura. Nice start.
Perfect. So would you say that's deep
Where is
enough
he?
there that it's no longer
Where is
a
Where is
guard
he?
there? That's far enough into
she's
that
biting
4-foot because they are shot rock?
Yeah, 100%. That's a pretty good spot right there, just biting the button.
Looks like the play is just to come down and freeze to that. One thing I'm seeing here with the throwers is that they are
It's there right now.
what some people
Paige.
call popping it, where they slide out, they have a little
Wait
bend in the
there.
arm, and then they push it out, adding
We're all there.
a fair bit more rotation than what we
Finally.
would see in a club league. So I'm curious what that does then to the rock and its trajectory down the ice.
Really, especially helps on curly ice. Keeps the rock going towards the broom, especially in the first half to 3/4 of it coming down the sheet, to keep the break point when the rock really starts curling to happen a little bit later.
So they're taking 5 feet of ice with that pop. So would that say then that club curler is probably looking at 6 to 7 feet? You're basically off the sheet to get to that center line?
Probably, yeah. You'd probably have the broom on the edge of the boards to get to the same spot if you don't have that same type of release that we're seeing here.
Excellent. Well, if we have any local Banff curlers who are watching, scouting out for their Monday night men's league game, take note of that. You'll need lots of ice for that.
That's good. Good spot.
So, Andrew, I understand you've dabbled in some mixed doubles yourself?
Yeah, I've played a little bit. I played a full year a couple of years ago, just mixed doubles events. And then I've done some U25 events as well. Did one at the start of the year. Made it to the quarterfinals in the U25 Next Gen Classic for the mixed doubles. So did pretty well there. But nothing really on my schedule for the next little bit. It's mostly 4s curling.
Yeah, and that U25 program in general that Curling Canada's put on is excellent. That jump from juniors to men's or women's play, we've heard it said in many places, but it is such a big jump knowing that a 20-year-old, as soon as they age out, is going to have to play against the likes of the folks who were watching on the sheet today, and the precision that they put in is incredible. And so that is a very nice program, and that Next Gen Classic happens at the very start of the season, as I understand. Is that correct?
Yep, last week of August. So the Curling Ice seems to keep getting in a little bit earlier. I remember the season starting mid-September, but now we're in August, so which isn't always too bad.
Absolutely. I remember in my junior years, it felt like forever, and maybe that was just me being ambitious to get out onto the ice. But now it feels like anywhere, any time of year that you want to go out and curl, you can find ice as long as you're in a big enough city. So that's definitely nice to have, but there is also a golf season. It is nice to get a little bit of time off, especially knowing how one-sided this sport of curling is. And we slide on the same leg. We typically sweep on the same side, and so we don't want to look too much like we can only flex one bicep kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Line's good.
Think I'm close. Half to tight.
Line's good.
Half.
Okay.
Half.
Just let it sit. Just let it sit. Let it sit. It's over curling now. Oh, no.
Sit down, baby. It's good for shit.
You see a little disappointment there from Kirk Muyres, and as we saw with Laura Walker last time, there is an incredible amount of curl around those guards. So I think even though it is fully buried, he seems to be acknowledging that the yellow-blue combo can be accessed. Is that the assessment you're getting as well?
Yep, just a little bit of an overcurl there, especially with one lonely blue in the reins right now. But looks like it might be just good enough that they're looking at peeling the front rocks.
It's not bad.
No, I don't mind the double peel.
It's just like I gotta watch because this is gonna come back into here. I might bring that back in, right? Or I play this with like a normal, and if I clip the guard, go clip, it's fine. Even if I just straight rip this one, it's still okay. So then I got a couple runs, right?
Yeah. Is it nose?
Try to get, like that's as best I can do is nose. Unless if I throw a little less weight. Because even if I hit it a hair high, I might actually end up working out okay.
I don't mind this call here. I think the only thing he has to watch out for is being just on the high side. So on his right-hand side, as he's seeing it from the thrower's perspective of that blue rock and coming in and actually doubling out the two yellows in the top of the forefoot and leaving the blue. I think any other way that he hits it, it seems to do him more good than harm.
Yeah, might be able to get a better look at his yellows on his next one.
Whoa!
Get it?
Okay.
And unfortunately, the commentator's curse has come to fruition. That shot was always there. I didn't mind it because you don't get to the quarterfinal of a world-class event like this by playing conservatively, but that double peel was very automatic, and for an elite curler such as Colton, that's basically just put the broom down and make it. So we'll see how Laura Walker and Kirk Muyres can take advantage of this situation.
There's a lot of blues jamming if I make that.
There's enough finish too, like.
I agree. Okay.
Do you think you'll get a little something in here? What's that? Do you think you'll get a little something?
And taking a look at the other sheets, some scores come in. It's a good day to be blue to start off the game. Jones Lane scored a 1 on sheet 1. Peterman Gallant took a deuce on sheet 2, and another 1 on sheet 4 for Armstrong Griffith.
I'm a little light, but I'm close.
Okay, line's fine. Just need to.
Weight's close.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
So what's the disappointment there? Obviously, we heard Kirk Muyres saying shoot after that shot. It looks fully buried. It's guarding the other one in essence, as in it's a little in front of it. What's the disappointment with that situation?
Would have been great to come right down to the face of that other blue rock on the button. Really would have made sure that that rock stays if Colton plays a big run, which it looks like he's about to do here. And also, it's not shot, so the yellow is out counting that blue. Would have been a lot nicer if it ended up just even a rock deeper.
To hopefully clip the 5 and then go into the 7.
Yeah, and it looks like the run back now just got a little bit wider. Usually you're throwing it into one rock, which is maybe 10 inches wide, and now we have 2 rocks with almost no hole in between them, and so we have now a 30-inch zone that we can hit. And for an elite curler, you don't need a zone much bigger than that to make contact on the back rock.
Just a shade less.
Whoa. No.
It's falling.
It's falling.
Well, like this doubles for 1, right?
Yeah.
This they don't really have any.
As an in-off for 2.
Should play an in-off for
It's not that easy,
2.
though.
That's not
It's
easy.
really flat.
Well, I think we can probably attack if we want, but
This one?
One rock left for each team here. What are you seeing, Andrew,
we
as
tap that.
your best possible shot?
Lots of different options,
probably
but
could also
sometimes
draw.
just getting another rock right into the forefoot is a great idea.
As long
So
as we can tap and be outshot here.
I think they like some of the taps too.
Absolutely. I think on the
do that.
right-hand side, as they're looking at it, facing
I don't think we
the hack,
I don't think
you
so
can
either.
see that that double is just for 1 because the top left blue that stays will outcount any yellows. And on the right, on the other side, the
Yeah.
left-hand side, as they're looking at it,
Guard that one.
there really isn't anything for Team Yellow to get at, and so I think they're trying to put a little bit more pressure on, perhaps sit 2 and put the squeeze on, as we like to say. It's always nicer when you have as many of yours closer to the smallest circle. That is the most simple form of the game of curling, and so I think that's exactly what they're doing now.
Or just, yeah. Hate that.
I was going to say, does it really change anything if I get
I don't
2
think
in
so.
here? Anything, I guess
Easier,
that's...
but it probably jams. Your shooters up here, it might be for a couple yet.
So do I just want to tap it right on the nose? Would that be the best? And make sure that this always jams? Okay.
Full force better than a hairline.
If you're high, it's okay.
Okay.
Because you'll be out shooting these.
Okay. T-line?
Yep.
You like T-line with this? Take the same broom as my draws?
Yep.
I wouldn't hate seeing max size here.
So we're seeing with both of these teams that, especially on the last rock at the end, that they have a thrower and a sweeper, no one holding the broom. Is that what you've done in the past, or how have you managed the... You only have one teammate. Do they sweep or do they hold the broom for you?
It really comes down to personal preference. But a lot of time you see the female who's typically throwing 1, 5, but you can throw 2, 3, 4 as well. Throws at no broom, and then they just have the sweeper help out, but sometimes you'll get up and sweep your own rock. So it really comes down to personal preference. Myself, I like to have a sweeper, and I can call the line from after I've thrown the shot.
Okay. Yep, you can. Yep. Whoa. Curl. Yep, straight. Hard.
Shoot. Good throw.
It's a little bit of disappointment that they weren't able to sit 2 like they had planned, but now that double that was there on the right-hand side has been completely removed based on the stagger of those rocks, and so Team Lott and Lott are looking for any way to get a yellow into the button, and it sounds like we just heard throw it away. So I'm curious to see, do they throw it to the wing? We have seen that tactic often used when you're throwing one away because eventually someone's going to use a power play, and they like to get a read on how they throw it to the wing because no one has seen that up until now.
Especially in the second end. You're still learning the ice, trying to figure it out. Just put on the T line in the edge of the 12 and you get a better feel for draw weight as well. So even on a rock thrown away, there's still lots to learn.
Yeah, throw it down center.
Like where that rock is.
Yeah. It's gonna curl mile.
Look at that, exactly as we were talking about it. They had a look to see how much it's curling. And safe to say it curls a lot. That is, that sounds like she threw it right down the center line and it was touching the center line when she let go of it. So that's a little over 6 feet of curl in that area. At this time, I would like to take another moment to thank all of our excellent sponsors who make this event possible. We have Vision Electronics, Distinctive Homes, Mary's Popcorn Shop, the Bow Valley Credit Union, the Malcolm, Ridgewood, GDS, Wildlife Distillery, and Rocky Mountain Soap Company. Thank you to all of these excellent sponsors for making this event possible. So at this point, Team Walker and Muyres up to a nice 3-0 lead. And it's amazing, even with only 5 rocks thrown plus 1 set up at the start, the amount of points that go back and forth in a mixed doubles game. So I would say by no means are our team Lott and Lott out of this game.
Line's good. I don't mind a broom on it though for line if you can. That's really curling. Keep a broom down, Trey. Keep a broom down. Go, 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 go. Hard, 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 hard. Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. Little more, little more, little more.
Good shot.
Sorry, just
Good throw.
really need to get my first one. Like I'm better.
So a little light on that one, but it is poking out a bit from the center guard, so it might be able to be raised back later, but a good opportunity for Lott and Lott to get a couple on the forefoot here.
I think I was a little heavy too, so.
Absolutely, that's an interesting point you make there. We mentioned, or you mentioned a little earlier, that rock in the top 8 or top 12 foot acts like a second guard, but if it's far enough over that you can see a majority of that rock off the side of the center guard, you can absolutely use it to either hit it back into another rock or simply tap it up. And so I would say that's a little bit more useful than something that would be fully buried in the exact same location.
Keep going. No, it's dead. It's okay.
It was grabbing in my hand.
Always tough to see a pick there. These teams do as much as they can to keep the ice as pristine as possible, but even the smallest bit of debris can get under a rock, and that can make a big difference.
Yeah, very unfortunate.
Yeah, the Banff Curling Club hosted the TSN Curling Skins game, and I can't remember the exact year of this, but Kevin Cooey was playing in the final there, and they had racked up many ends of carryovers where no team was able to get a steal or a deuce, and in that very last end he had a draw to the side of the button to win a massive pot of money, and it picked about halfway down the sheet, and in that case that was $30,000 on the line. In some cases it is a little bit less, but in any case a pick is never good for the team that it happens to.
Where are ya? Line's good. Got a curl. Got a curl.
Well, it's okay.
Lots of line. Curl. Curl, curl, curl.
Should I tuck it a little?
I think so. This one's okay to be top 12 because I can't, but
As Kirk Muyres gets ready to throw, we'll have another look at all the other sheets, which have posted their second end scores. So Team Jones and Lang are up to 2-0 now, stealing a point in the second end. Homan and Botcher take a 3-back on sheet 2 against Peterman Galanter and are now up 3-2. And on sheet 4, we have Armstrong and Griffith stealing a point, going up 2-0 after 2 ends. As a reminder, we do have the prize pot as well as the mixed doubles points on the line for all 8 of these teams, but only 3 teams are playing for a berth in the trials. The other 5 have already secured their spots for the mixed doubles trials next December.
Oh, easy, easy. No. Sit. Good.
This December.
Call, Laura.
It's in a couple weeks, right after Christmas, I believe.
Can't hear. Yeah.
It's weird because it's like no one else is really yelling.
So a good shot from Kirk there, just getting right behind the yellow guard. So there's nothing to run back on that right side right now, but they might be looking at just peeling to open it up so they can use that nice freeze that Colton threw earlier right on top of that blue.
Absolutely, and Laura Walker's first rock, which did peek out on the left-hand side as the thrower looks at it, is now becoming a very useful rock, both as a blocker so that Team Lott and Lott can't draw in on the left-hand side, and it also works for them that they can tap it should they ever need to.
Like, I think it's like just board.
Okay.
Yep. Whoa. Yep. Whoa. Whoa. Close. Yep.
Good shot.
Well, I mean, this is a tough shot for 2, and this is a tough shot for 1. Would you agree? This is a tough shot for, or a reasonable shot for 2. Makes it easier.
Yeah.
It's almost here, eh?
Unless you hit that, but
Yeah.
this is, I would hate for them to make this right up nose right now and some heat, right?
And
Yeah.
hi, Ian, seeing
Basically, you get a
your
blue back, we might
comments
get lucky
coming
in
in.
here.
I agree.
Thank you so much for the kind words. Definitely dabbling in
As long as we
commentary now.
Talk enough that they can't, I guess even still.
Ian was my high school math and physics teacher, excellent teacher through and through, and so really cool to see him watching live here as well.
I think
Yep.
just try to get here.
Yep, you're right.
Same line. Pretty much
Yeah,
as you last
yeah.
finish it a little. Line's good.
Tight guard.
Okay, line's good. This is a hair wider.
It's a little light.
Okay, keep it going then. Curl. Keep it going. Keep it going. Keep it going. Keep it going. Hard, Kirk. Hard. Hard. Tucker on the yellow. Keep going. Hard. 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 Hard.
Just barely under curled. It looks like that run back is still just barely there. The good news is if he hits the blue on the way back, running it back, he will open it up a little bit more as well.
Do you think it's enough to
Or I throw a hair more.
get hair more?
Okay. Am I thinking control then?
Yeah.
I like, it would be nice to not lose the back one, but okay, just a sliver high.
Doesn't look like they're throwing a lot of weight at this either. Broom's a little bit out there, but enough to get rid of some stuff.
Absolutely, I think the precision is important because you might as well stick that yellow one. if you're going to be precise, you might as well get the most out of it. And I think if everything is just perfect, they could sit as many as 3, but that back yellow might go in the process.
Yep. Hard. Whoa.
I know we see them throwing quite a few runbacks, especially on these middle shots. What do you think the likelihood of making those runbacks, or put a different way, how far away are the rocks when it becomes more improbable to make and it feels a bit more desperate rather than a distance that you feel very comfortable and confident
We get 2
throwing?
shots.
Definitely gets
Can't block it all.
longer the better you get. So for Colton, probably 10 feet apart. If he's throwing peel, he could probably make contact with
just didn't wanna,
the
like,
back rock
got too tight.
somewhere along that lines. But you know, for your club
Pretty
curlers,
much at the nose, eh?
might be just 5 feet, might be 6 feet. But
just didn't wanna be
the more you practice at it, the better you'll get.
Giving
So
myself a chance.
it's definitely a useful shot, especially in the men's game of force curling.
Absolutely, and you're saying the distance between the first rock you hit and the contact rock in behind it there, is that correct?
Exactly, yeah. But hits and mixed doubles are quite a bit harder. You don't have the same 2 sweepers that are ready to go. You gotta either get up and sweep your own, or you're not throwing out a broom. So, yes, draws definitely are a focus in doubles, but we've seen quite a bit of hits so far in this game.
Absolutely, and it's impressive how many they make, just to your point there, that you don't have a skip who gets to watch every single rock come down in the same way that a skip is in the house the whole time, gets to see every shot from both teams very, very accurately. And then you also don't have your 2 sweepers, so you basically get one or the other, or in the best case, some of the sweepers, or some of the throwers will get up to sweep a run back, but when it's moving at about 1,000,000 miles an hour, that is a little bit easier said than done.
Same as my first one.
Yep.
Okay. Is that enough over here?
I think it'll be perfect for this one. Top 8.
Okay.
Top 12, top 8.
Okay, line's good. Needs to curl a bit still, but I think it'll get there if your weight's good. There it goes.
Top 12, top 8. I don't
Middle
wanna.
for line, middle for line. It's really curling.
Don't wanna.
Okay, hold in. Oh.
Great shot, Laura.
And a nice shot blocking things off there, making it a little bit harder to score yet again here, looking for any way into that 4-foot team. Walker Muyres doing a really good job of blocking things off and creating a really big wall.
Here?
I'm seeing like 3/4 high.
Where? Here?
Yeah, here. You're the one calling it, so whatever you're seeing.
So if I see this correct, it looks like they're trying to make the double from blue onto blue, get rid of both the blues,
There?
keep the yellows in the 4-foot, and get 2 out of it. Is that right?
I think so. It might be hitting the yellow, blue onto the yellow, and the blue, both blues with spill. That
just
yellow's
off
pretty
nose.
locked on there, but either way, it's
Yeah,
gonna
it's
be
like
fairly tough to
between
get rid
7/8 and 3/4.
of. It's always a risk running back the opposition stone as
Throw
well.
normal. My peel
Absolutely,
curl.
and even if the blue does go onto that top yellow rock, it looks like the blue would, the back blue that is, would
The only
drag
other thought is
off
if you
of
throw the out at
side.
it. But I don't know what it's going to do after the center line, right?
I
Like
think
mine
I
curled at the
I
end.
like the end. Yep. Just like that quarter of that rock, or like edge of that rock. Huh?
7/8 to 3/4. 3/4. Oh yeah, edge.
Yeah. Whoa! Whoa! Close! Yes! Yes!
right on. Nice shot.
And an excellent shot just as it was drawn up. And that third one in the top 8 foot that was just thrown also counting. I didn't actually realize that it would be for 3. And so that is, wow, that really turns the momentum of the game on its head.
Huge shot. Huge shot there to get them right back in it. And, of course, mixed doubles, lots of big scores. So Walker Muyres would try and strike right back here in the 4th.
Yeah, and I think it's all about perspective, and the mental game is so big. On the one hand, Team Lott and Lott just got a big 3-under, made an excellent shot, and so riding that momentum. And if you're Walker Muyres, what are you thinking to yourself to get yourself into that next end? Still making good shots, still putting the pressure on, and then hopefully getting some points back.
Exactly. You got to tip your hat. They made a very good shot, but you've also been making good shots so far this game, so you just got to keep that going and hopefully put yourself in good positions moving forward. Taking a look on the other sheets so far, we got Jones and Lane, I believe they're blue. Yes, with a 3-0 lead after 3 ends on sheet 1. Homan, Botcher, and Gallant Peterman is still underway in the 3rd. While on sheet 4 as well, we have Armstrong Griffith with a 3-0 lead for blue. So far, blue coming out to a strong start.
Yep.
Good spot.
And we see Kadriana Lott put that in the perfect spot for the first one, and now Laura Walker has to try to get another one in there and set up some angles. And speaking of Laura Walker, back in 2011-2012, she twice in a row won the University National Championships, now called the U Sports Championship, but back then was called the CIS Nationals. And I understand that you're also playing at the U Sports level this year.
With the Golden Bears out of the University of Alberta. So late January, we have our Canada West Championships, and the top 2 from there will get to go to U Sports in Lethbridge.
Okay, and for those who are not familiar with university curling, the Canada West, what is that? How does that work alongside the Nationals?
It's basically the regional qualifier. So you have your Canada West, Ontario, and the Quebec, I believe, region for schools, and there's out of those 8 teams get to go to U Sports and compete for the U Sports.
I believe it's the Maritime region.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So they essentially play downs regionally for the different universities in that area.
Correct.
Yeah, and the Canada West Championship has been getting very competitive. Even the U Sports winners from last year heading out to the World University Games in Italy here soon.
Okay,
We're
line's
from the
okay.
University of Regina, and they
Where are
have
you?
really strong rinks
Top
out
right.
of the University of Calgary as well, actually being coached in part by Jocelyn Peterman and
line's
Brett Gallant,
great.
who are playing on sheet 2 right now.
Whoa. Got a curl. Keep going. Street. Okay, good spot. 14-8. 14-8. He's always getting rid of his blue.
So with a couple of yellows
Basically
here
on
in the
the
top
nose,
house,
eh?
just trying to get another angle. Oh,
Crossed a millimeter, maybe.
Good time.
all right. There's a little tap here, but just trying to get another blue one in there.
Oh, yep, yes, hard. Hard!
It's really close.
Gets everything moving there.
Hey, soccer.
Excellent. And in the fours game, that would be, in some ways, an excellent shot. You clear up the middle, but disappointing, too, that you left 2 counters out on the wings. In mixed doubles, though, blank ends don't really work. If you do blank an end, the hammer switches to the other team, and so you'll see teams elect to take one over giving up the hammer with no points anyways. And so those outside counters don't really do anything. You still have a guard. And you're hearing Team Lott and Lott actually thinking about peeling the guard, knowing that giving up one is the best case scenario. You get the hammer back, and it looks like that's the case.
Okay.
How do you even put this on the center line?
I can't hear you.
Okay. Weights there.
So thank you
Stay
to
close.
everyone
Wait
who
there.
is joining us on this Sunday morning and choosing to make us a priority for yourselves as
it's
you
not good. It's light.
wake up on Sunday, or if you're out east in Canada,
I'd rather
possibly
see a little
in the
lighter.
middle of your day.
Mine's really good.
I am Desmond Young, and alongside me here I have Andrew Knoll. For those of you who have joined us since we first introduced ourselves, Andrew Knoll is a current Golden Bears curler at the University of Alberta, playing lead for Team Johnson Tau there. He has a very successful record, winning 2 Alberta Junior Championships and winning silver at the Canadian Juniors in 2022. This past year, you actually got a bronze medal at the U Sports National Championship as well, so congratulations, that's awesome.
Thank you very much. But also with me is Desmond Young, a former Golden Bear at the University of Alberta. Played with Ryan Jakes, who was also actually competing in this event. He is a 2-time U Sports bronze medalist and also a 2-time Alberta Junior champ as well. And he is a Banff local, born and raised here, and I can see a couple of his Curling Alberta banners hanging up in the lounge over here. So,
Absolutely, it's a great honor to be from this beautiful town and get to come home to this amazing ice and watch all these world-class athletes playing here. Where I grew up, I remember when I still weighed as much as a curling rock, trying to get it down the sheet of ice. It was not easy, and then as I grew, it became a little bit easier. And over on sheet 4, I'm not sure how much our viewers can see on the live stream, we have a set of rings that are about a quarter of the way between the hog lines, and so that's used for the junior program, which is still an important part of the Banff Curling Club, where they can throw a little bit less distance and still be able to get the tactical side of things and get to make some shots without having to rely on pushing a rock as hard as you possibly can to get it to the other end. So the junior program is so important here and has a special place in my heart, knowing that this is where I came from.
it's definitely a great place to be. Always find myself wanting to come down here in the summer and also in the winter to do some skiing. So any time of year is a great year to come down to Banff.
Or firm.
Absolutely, and such a unique curling club as well. Over by sheet 1, we have a wall full of windows, and it is the north-facing wall, so thankfully the sun never shines through that window, or else the ice would look a little bit more like soup than it would a frozen solid. But we get to look out the mountains at all times when we're curling, as long as the sun is up, and that is pretty special and pretty unique for a curling club. I know even at some events you'll have wildlife such as elk or deer that will amalgamate in the field, and sometimes all the games will stop and people will start looking over and, oh, what's outside the window there? And not many curling clubs around the world, let alone in Canada, where that is an opportunity you can have.
Hard! That's good.
It's the same turn easier.
Well, I think you're gonna get way over. Like you
Wow.
would have been like in the.
I know, I just got to
here.
go wider, but.
It's up to you.
So what do you think here? It's about 14 and a half?
Yeah, I had a 14.6 on his, and he left it the whole way.
Okay.
14 and a quarter,
Okay.
and they were here, like that. I'm okay with this. if you
Yeah,
like
I'm just
it.
wondering if, are we going to get caught in the little bit of the,
Yep.
I don't know.
It's 6-1. You're throwing
Yeah.
it, whatever you like.
I agree.
I honestly didn't even see it. Whatever you think is fine.
So we see the general tactics that we mentioned a few minutes ago playing out here. Team Lott and Lott happy to just hit any blue rock that finds itself in the house to force Team Walker Muyres to 1, and then we see Team Walker Muyres trying to get buried, trying to get play going any way they can to find a multiple.
Okay, line's good.
Why is it so difficult to get around that guard? It's just another guard. What's so challenging about this one?
There's definitely a lot of curl. You've seen there's been about 5 feet all the way to the middle, so sometimes you can over curl here, and as you can see, it just starts skating over to the middle. Lots of curl, but also the speed is a little bit different way out there. So not quite shot there, but is right behind the guard, so definitely usable and might be coming in as a counter later on.
Yeah, you mentioned the speed, and part of it I think is the unknown as well. We heard Kirk Muyres trail off a sentence there
Like I think you can.
of going through across the center line. We're going to go through the
Like I don't
sort
wanna,
of
you can't take
alluding
mine,
to
right?
the challenge
You'll
with
get there.
paths, right? We see everyone throw to the center line, right to the button,
Yeah.
essentially
Like, I
every
don't want
end.
to take
And
any tighter than that. Though.
Yeah,
it seems
definitely.
like the challenge is coming around
Through
a
the
guard that's
middle,
not in the middle.
for sure.
because no one
It's down the
sees
path
it.
you don't know, so you don't know exactly what the weight is going to be. If it's going to be a little quicker, or maybe it's most often it's slower. You need to throw more weight than you would normally for a draw. So they just elected to go down the path they knew a little bit better, going way out wide, and well, it ended up about a rock short depth-wise, right behind the guard. So they had the line down pat on this.
And as a mixed doubles veteran, how do you approach a novel shot like this? Obviously, these teams have thrown around many guards in many situations, in many games across their mixed doubles and fours careers, but in this particular situation, brand new path. How do you make that adjustment from the known to the unknown and still try to make the shot?
Sometimes you just have to make a guess, but you can bring it closer to what the start of the game was, maybe at practice. Or even just, you know, repetitive shots. You understand, throw more and more of them, and you get to have a better understanding of what it's going to look like. So not quite what they were looking for, and Laura will have a hit and stay for two here.
That 11 and
Yeah,
a
love
half,
that.
because I think it's really
Absolutely, and normally you would see the skip put the broom down and just go throw it, but I think same thing, we're not on that
That's like right at
draw to the
half.
button center line path. If it was a hit on the center line, they would know it, but we're out in the weeds, as we sometimes call it, and now they're making a guess, and with world-class curlers such as these, I would say odds are better than not of making this shot, but it's not as simple as it looks, and they still have to talk about the line, talk about the weight, and figure out the shot, and never take these for granted, because the points are huge, but the likelihood that you'll make it doesn't just come without putting all the time and effort into it.
Eleven and a half.
Easy. Clean. Yep. Yep. Hard. Hard. You gotta go hard. Hard. Hard.
Beauty. Two.
And very nicely done there, no mistake.
Big sweep by Kirk there, but gets the job done, and that's another two for Walker Muyres to go up 5-3 after 4 ends.
And a really good rebound there after giving up a 3 in the past end, not to get down or start panicking and just do what they know how to do very well. And Kirk Muyres made an excellent draw around that guard, which set up the eventual deuce. So really, really well done there.
Taking a look at some of our other sheets real quick. Guy Morissette with the 4 score in the 4th end to take a 4-3 lead over there. And on sheet 2, it is 4-3 for Peterman Gallant playing the 4th end right now. And on sheet 1, Lane and Jones playing against Adams Robichaud, and the 4th end just concluded, and I think it was a 1 for Adams Robichaud, so I believe it should be 3-1 over there.
And at this time, we'll take another moment to recognize our amazing sponsors for this event. Of course, this event can't go on without their support. We have Vision Electronics, Distinctive Homes, Mary's Popcorn Shop, the Bow Valley Credit Union, the Malcolm, Ridgewood, GDS, Wildlife Distillery, and Rocky Mountain Soap Company. All excellent sponsors that help keep this event going year in and year out.
Probably out turn.
And a really nice adjustment there from Laura Walker. We heard in the 3rd end mentioning at the very end of the first shot that she needed to get those a little deeper. That's the one that ended up over curling a little bit and coming up light. And then last end, her first one went right through the house. And so now she's really dialed in that weight. And knowing the level of herself as well as all these athletes, I imagine that's now in her back pocket and she'll be making them for the rest of the game. So really nice adjustments that she's able to find that middle spot and sets them up for the rest of the end really well.
And another shot, good shot right back. Get a good angle on that blue.
Start. Full 8.
So for mixed doubles, we have two people. They have to figure out the angles, and no doubt there are many of those in the nature of this game. And some teams have skips, but we see that a lot of the best teams, such as the two teams that we have here, are not necessarily skips of their fours teams, or might not even play fours curling. So for yourself, I know you play lead in your fours play, but you've had a very successful mixed doubles career as well. How do you manage figuring out those angles and things, and do you have to study extra, or is it something that comes from the fours game and you learn as well?
Some of it does come from the fours games, but for the most part it comes with just playing more mixed doubles games and recognizing the angles, but just trying to get yourself in a great position. But of course, like you said, you don't need to be skips in order to throw this to be very successful. You just gotta throw the rock well, which everybody on the sheets here definitely can do.
It's close.
Yep. Yep.
One great piece about mixed doubles, at least in terms of individual curler development, is something that I've heard as thrower ownership, and people might have heard it under different names, but where the thrower gets to make those decisions. Sometimes the skip is at the far end in fours play and is making the decisions, and that's absolutely necessary. But in the game of mixed doubles, there's a lot more autonomy for the person throwing the shot, and sometimes you see the two players don't necessarily agree, and I would say 90% of the time, unless the other thrower knows something really critical, we defer to the thrower, and so they have to pick the broom, they have to pick how hard they want to throw it, and get a little feedback from that teammate. But at the end of the day, they are the ones who have to make all of those decisions, whereas it's a little bit more distributed in the fours game. So I think there is a lot of carryover for mixed doubles play to really enhance your fours play as well.
Absolutely. And if you need to work on some draw weight, mixed doubles is definitely the way to go. Lots of draws being thrown to the middle, so great way to work on your draw game.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's a matter of you either figure out your draw weight or you shake after four ends and have a good time on the warm side of the glass, just hanging out and being social. So I think you exactly learn through necessity how to make those draws pretty quickly, or else you find yourself leaving on a Friday or leaving after four ends if it's just a single league game.
It's probably always going to touch her back one, eh? Like, I'm trying to hit it as thin as I can with, like, control weight.
Yeah. Like here?
And hopefully control weight's enough to kind of get it spinning.
Yeah.
Your hit curled, right?
Yeah.
So it looks like Colton that is, wants to throw it a little bit lighter with a control weight, which is a slightly different meaning for every individual curler, but for these curlers it probably means something in the range of a hit that's somewhere between a peel and a very light hit. Yet he wants to get it to rattle around. So what's the reason that he's throwing it light and still wants to get some movement around?
They want to play the shooter, but also in doubles. It's a lot easier to control the rock with lighter weight, especially if you don't need to throw heavy.
Whoa! Yeah. Whoa!
Blue, 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 blue.
Go, 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 go. Good shot, Cole.
Great shot there, line 3
Can
now,
I do that?
behind some guards.
Absolutely excellent, and I think that's really good evidence of the drag effect there. It looked like that yellow-blue combo was destined to go straight back into the yellow, and yet it went off to the side. And so for anyone not familiar, the drag effect is where two rocks are very close together and are stationary, and they act as a single rock. So if you hit the first rock on the left-hand side, then the second rock actually goes off to the right as if it was the first rock you hit. Whereas when rocks are further apart, then they zigzag back and forth when they make contact. And so the physics of curling is very interesting. But in this case, we see the outcome of it, and these curlers very well know how it works. It was used to an excellent advantage.
Okay. Yeah, just a little less than I can see would be good.
Yep, take your time.
Finish it. Oh. Yep. Hard. Whoa, 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 whoa! Right off. Jeez.
The out turn here.
Yeah.
Right now she has this.
Yeah.
That's a really unfortunate miss. Hindsight
here.
and sitting on the warm side of
gotta
the
get
glass
on this
is
corner,
always easy, but
everything
we did
angles
see
into
one of
here,
Colton Lott's actually
and she
fall,
has
I think
no
in the
leverage
second
around.
end there, and so that was something that they didn't quite pick up on. He seemed to like
Even
it
if
out
I
of
get
his
to the
hand,
nose cage,
indicating that it was a good
no,
throw. It
that's
just
not ideal.
backs up that little bit.
I'd
And
rather
there's
be
many
top
reasons why
eight
that
there,
can
yeah.
happen, but an unfortunate outcome here, and now they're really squirming, trying
Probably
to figure
that
out
same
how to
line.
not give up 4 or 5. At this point, pragmatically, how many are you thinking of giving up if your team Walker Muyres?
I guess really you got to wait and see where this lies to see how many yellows you can hit to get rid of. But if you would only give up 3, that would be pretty good looking at the house right now.
I would agree, and I think that's important to manage the
Keep it out there a
expectations.
bit.
At the start of the end, they would have wanted to force or
Line's
even
good.
steal if it came around.
Top
But
four.
Keep it out
given the
there a
way
bit.
that this
Top
end
four.
sets up, they don't want to sell the farm and give up 5, just trying to force them too hard. And they know that if they can give up 3 or even better 2, the scoreboard is still pretty even. They have their power play left into the closing ends, and I think that they would take that.
For that double, I got to be pretty happy, eh?
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Good with that?
I might get a little bit in here.
It sounds like
I'm
they're
gonna get a
thinking
little
the
bit in
exact
here.
same thing. Pretty happy with the double, killing 2 of the 4, leaving a draw for 3. And so I think they're on the exact same wavelength as you were there, Andrew.
Absolutely, they'll take the opportunity. That curled a little bit more. This might not quite be there, so they'll take the chance to make this double here.
And do you ever have to worry about that blue in the back of the 8-foot? Is that something that the yellows could jam on?
It doesn't look like it with the way that they're lined up. It should go over top. Had there been a little more curl, they would have been a little closer to maybe jamming back there.
Clean, clean. Yep. Stay down, stay down, stay down.
Great shot, Laura. Beauty.
In your cage. That middle.
And this is one of those interesting situations where everyone on the surface is happy. I think Team Walker Muyres is a little disappointed given the way that the end has ended up, but they made their last shot there. They're happy with the outcome of that. And
Middle?
if your team Lott
Yeah,
drawing
it's
for
nice
3
even
is always pretty good. It's nicer when your own are already
I'm still,
closer
like, with
and
mine,
you're
I'm
drawing
still
to
getting by
add
the guard
points
by quite
rather
a
than
bit,
drawing
right?
to remove points from the other team.
Good. It's a good spot.
What I've been giving you?
Yep.
Line's good. Line's good, Colt. Keep going, fully. Good sweep.
Good shot. Three yellow.
And a really good sweep indeed there. That's a big extra point and keeps the momentum in your favor. I know that when you have a draw for a multiple and it comes up shorter, it goes through, even though you scored points. As that last rock throw, you can bear that for a little bit. So that's nice that you can make that, get the point on the board, but also have the positive momentum going forward.
And with that, they do take a 6-5 lead, playing in 6 as well.
And at this point, as the teams are setting up for their power play, I'd like to take a moment to say thank you to the excellent ice making crew who's been making the ice today as well as all weekend. So we have Brian Armstrong, ice maker here in Banff. I've known Brian for a long time myself, and he's been making awesome ice for a long time and absolutely kept that going this weekend. So that is excellent. We also have Grant Randall from Canmore as well as Courtney Ross, who all made the ice. So thank you. It's been excellent. We've seen lots of curl and lots of curling shots made as a result.
So we're getting our first look at the power play opportunity here, and Lott and Lott are throwing down to the blue over to the corner. So let's see how this goes.
What's your preferred shot for the first shot of the power play? We've seen many different, the corner tick, freezing
good.
down, throwing a center guard, throwing it top four right in the middle. What tactic do you like?
Many
Gotta
different
go.
options based on how far we are into the game, if you're down or if you're up. If you're up, playing the tick does bring a lot of good options there. While if you're down, sometimes even throwing a center guard is great if you're needing to try and steal in the 8th end, for example. But very content with drawing around, and I believe they got shot out of that too. So very nice shot to start off the end there.
It looks like it just barely, and in the round of 12 yesterday evening in Canmore, I watched them make a very similar shot, and same thing, just lock it on. It seems like that's something that they have practiced, and I think that comes back to the most important point for this power play and really any mixed doubles play is being on the same team and practicing what you actually want to play, so that it's not a question of trying to figure out what you're doing in the moment, but instead you're on the same page, you're confident, and you know you can make it because you've practiced it.
Hard! Hard! Whoa, whoa, whoa!
Great shot. Beauty.
Yep.
Get it here, they freeze, we come off it, right?
Yeah.
All right, so Colton Lott just walked through 3 shots very quickly. So what's going through his mind here in terms of the sequence of shots?
Well, he can't hit any rocks right now in mixed doubles, unlike Forrest. So even that blue rock just sitting right there, wanting to be hit out of the reins, they can't do that. So they elected to draw around, use it as a guard, and end up around back 4, back 8 to sit shot rock.
And normally you like to be above the tee line, but it sounds like he actually has some pretty good rationale for
Okay,
being
bit of
a
room.
little bit deeper, that if Team
Bit of
Walker
room.
Muyres then freezes, he has his own
Lots of
rock
room.
that is frozen on the blue on the side.
room.
And given that the guard was hit over a little bit, that is now available to be hit, and you can come off and essentially make a double on the 2 blues. The frozen rock on the blue goes back, and then whatever is frozen on top of that yellow rock that was just thrown will also disappear.
So it didn't quite get the same amount of curl that they wanted around it, but
Freeze it.
making them think for sure.
They can decide to guard, but that gets a little dicey for them.
Yeah, and they can't
that.
guard at all, right?
Got that.
Yeah.
Like this?
Yeah.
All right.
So as they're getting ready to throw here, I'm curious. We see different combinations of teams. We see some people who are partners, married or otherwise, as well as some who are not. So I don't know that the dynamics necessarily changed, but have you ever played mixed doubles with your partner? I hear she's a pretty experienced mixed doubles curler in her own right.
Okay,
Uh,
little bit of room
yeah.
right now.
Fenya over there. Played mixed doubles with you in the Alberta Winter Games back in the day, I think it was. She's not much of a curler, but she definitely was that weekend. So, but really these teams have been together and sometimes married or dating couples. They get to the point a lot quicker, and not as many words need to be said. But, you know, you play with somebody long enough, whether it's on a fours team or a mixed doubles team, and you start to understand your preferences and what you want to throw.
Yeah.
If I rip this double, then it gives them a chance to get to the corner.
Absolutely. I think it's just a matter of having
knows it, I
a
don't give 'em a
dynamic,
double,
and sometimes couples work very well in a competitive environment together, and we do see that across the sheets here. We have quite a few couples, and sometimes you have a partner who doesn't curl, or it wouldn't work out, and it's best for the marriage to stay apart on the mixed doubles, and that works really well too. But to come back to your point about Fenya, so my younger sister Fenya, she played mixed doubles with me in the 2014 Alberta Winter Games mixed doubles qualifier, and
What do you think?
in terms of the outcome, we got second in every game, as someone once said so elegantly to me. So that was unfortunate on the results side, but the partner who I had intended to play with, something came up and wasn't able to play that weekend, and so she stepped in the last minute, had probably curled 3 or 4 times in her life, and we got her a slider and a stabilizer, and she came out, and kudos to her, just
helping the big brother out.
Figured it out
Yeah.
exactly in the only way she knew how and could, and so that's pretty awesome.
That's more ice than I had on the last.
She's also working the camera here today, so doing a pretty good job on that.
Yeah, we keep her on the warm side of the glass. It was nice for her to fill in once, but her camera skills are the ones we want.
Mine's good.
It's okay.
Got room.
Oh, this is not curling.
Room.
Yeah.
Curling
Wait.
now.
It needs
Whoa.
to.
Got to curl. Curl.
Uh-oh.
Try to unlock this stuff.
I think so.
Unless you want to try to sit 2 and hope for a miss.
Well,
right?
I might be able to sit 3. Like, I got to hit this pretty thick.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah.
I like it.
Okay.
Even to just roll over there.
2/3.
So we're seeing a challenging shot, to say the least, looking like they're trying to move around quite a few rocks, especially the 2 yellows that are in the 4-foot, and maybe getting over to the side where that locked pair of rocks are. The nice part about an end like this is that there isn't a lot of junk, as we call it, out front, guards and things that get in your way, and so Laura's ability to get one at least at the very end is very high, and so now they can take on the lower probability shots that have a higher reward of getting them many points without risking the game in this 6th end.
Just curled up a little too much, had to hit that a little thicker to get the roll over to the side yellow and even remove the back one.
Absolutely.
Well, we got to be on the nose.
There might be some differences
Then he
side to
probably
side.
nose
Last
taps and
end,
splits everything.
he undercurled and might have taken a little less ice.
All right, just
Unfortunately,
make
in
the
this
double.
case, nosing or hitting it too thick would have been better, killing
the
that
double,
rock
then he's-
that was on the button and sitting
No, same
2
shot.
guaranteed. So an unfortunate miss here, leaving
Yeah.
him a little bit worried for the,
Be nice to
the end
unlock
of
it
the
a
end
bit.
here.
And gets to give Colton the exact same shot that he just played previously, and now he hopes to make it a little bit better, get closer to the face of that rock instead of just about a quarter frozen as it was previously.
Absolutely, and with these top-level curlers, the same shot that they've just thrown is almost a guaranteed make. They're so dialed in, they can reproduce things. I know for myself, having the same shot twice was always a little nerve-wracking, because what if you miss it and all of a sudden you made it and can't reproduce it? It's not a great look on your curling abilities, but these curlers are definitely beyond that level, and so I would expect a very close effort.
Yep. Yep.
Just gotta guard it. You just gotta guard it.
Okay, go, go, go. Go, go, go. Okay.
Yeah, I
Or
think
through the
so.
hole, I guess. Maybe.
The hole looks tight, but
Does.
just because you can only see half on this side, right?
Yeah.
Like, I guess if you throw it pretty hard, I just would hate to lose that.
Well, I was thinking like hack.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I
This, I
think
guess, is kind of hack too, right? It's just tough to stick, both of them.
Yeah, if you could get it into, like, it's thin, but if you could throw a little bit of weight and get it into there, that's pretty good. Just playing the run back.
Yeah, I guess you'll have that, but
But if you like hack, like,
it's tough. Both of them are pretty precise, but I think that's all we got, huh?
yeah, we need to try to get this one
Yeah.
off the button right now, I think.
And I guess worst case, if I do this and lose my shooter, or lose this one.
Yeah, at least we still shot
Okay,
there.
so what kind of weight do you like?
Whatever.
10.5?
Sure.
Do you know that?
That's enough to get this to get out of the 8-foot?
Maybe not. And thinner the better. Like, that's max, I think. Would you agree?
Yeah, like it's a small hat.
Yeah.
Very challenging angles here. We see them having to come off camber or across the face.
I'll get you to call it.
The blue wants to go into the other blue and double the blue outs
No,
instead
no, you're
of
right, it's the right
trying
way.
to go even steeper across, hit the blue into the yellow on the button. So that's a very challenging shot. The necessity is there to try to get a multiple out of it, and we'll see how close it is, but it's definitely not natural as far as angles of rocks go.
Yes!
Fuck.
A little bit of
I just, like, we
disappointment
know to
there.
give her a triple, right, for
Apologies
three.
to our viewers for the colorful language. Needless to say,
Yeah.
a challenging
way.
situation. If Kadriana makes a really nice shot, there
makes
might
a
not
reroll
be an
big.
easy shot for one, and so
I'd sooner do this, Cage.
that's
Okay.
tough. You definitely need to score when you're using your power
Probably the
play,
shot.
and scoring in those even ends is really important.
Right here.
Edge rock? Right here.
Just a little bit more than that. And we're just trying to roll it into here.
Hit it about here.
Yeah, half rock is fine.
Am I hitting this one though? Yeah.
You gotta hit it pretty thin. Like, touch this one, you gotta hit it here. And at that point, I don't think.
Is it
you're
right
gonna
that
push
they're
it.
worried about a triple? If
Half rock,
that
pick
blue
half.
was nosed, is there a triple to kill the three closest yellows and maybe
Even
punch
if-
the frozen
even
one
if
just
you
a
do
little
touch
bit
this,
so
double
that
back
blue
and
can
go
get
to
two?
the jam there.
Good question. Definitely possible, but I mean, I think you should be the one answering that, given yourself as a third. You see these angles a little more than I would as a lead here.
I think it's close. I think that's the reason they were talking about the roll, and I think even rolling to the center line seemed to leave the possibility of that triple, and I think that just goes to show the respect that they have for each other, having
Off the rock.
knowing how hard Laura Walker can throw it.
Half rock, pick half.
Whoa! Whoa! Close, yep! Whoa! Whoa! Yep! Yep! Yes! Hard!
Touch it. Nice shot.
Oh, and
Really
no
good.
doubt there at all, and I think they might just have pushed it far enough to sit four, but I don't think so. On second look at the overhead camera, it looks like it's just three. That being said, just three in a game where you only have 5 rocks in the house as the team without the hammer is pretty good.
14. Yep, exactly. That'll do.
We haven't really thrown over here.
Yep. Put her on the tee. That'll do.
might take a little bit of ice here,
I think
just
so.
to be a little fresh.
Yeah.
So to speak.
Okay.
I added a fair bit there. Line's good. Starting to really curl now. Going sideways. It's okay. It's gone, Chris. It's gone.
And a huge disappointment here. Hopefully it doesn't tap it in for a 4th point.
Good game. Good game.
Good game.
And that takes us to the end. So I believe it was 3 points at the end there. The challenge is other team has 2 ends and a power play, and that is a difficult way to end it. We talked a little earlier about how bad those picks can be in terms of outcomes and how serious they are. In this case, it cost a game. I think in most cases, Laura Walker puts that right on the button, and you're looking at a tie game going into the last 2 ends, and that's a really disappointing way for their run to end. The only nice part is that they have already qualified for those trials, so they'll be back in a very short amount of time vying for the biggest prize, going to the Olympics representing Team Canada. But Team Lott and Lott, we will see them in the semi-final a little bit later today.
And they will play the winner of Armstrong, Griffith, and Gagne Morissette, which is happening on sheet 4 right now. And I will be corrected. They play the winner of Adams Roby Show and Jones Lane, happening on sheet 1. So we'll keep an eye on the rest of the sheets happening right now. On sheet 4, Gagne Morissette and Armstrong Griffith are currently tied 4-4 after 5. Is there a 6 up there? Not that they've seen. They haven't posted a 6 end yet, but they're playing 7. On sheet 2, Home and Botcher are currently up 6-5 against Peterman Gallant, and they are playing the 6th end right now. And over on sheet 1, we have a 3-2 low-scoring game. Jones Lane have a 3-2 advantage over Adams Roby Show. So while this game and the commentary is done for this, we'll make sure cameras are on all the sheets, so stay tuned and watch all the sheets. But here is the word from, just to recognize the sponsors from this event too.
Absolutely, and we'll be here live on the air for you until all these draws wrap up. And so we'll bounce back and forth. You'll have views of all the sheets, and we'll try to keep up with 3 games as they're going on. The production team thought that we did too well with 1 game, so they're going to see how well we can juggle 3 games at once. But at this time, I would like to take a moment to once again thank our amazing sponsors for their support of this Rocky Mountain Mixed Doubles Classic. We have Vision Electronics, Distinctive Homes, Mary's Popcorn Shop, the Bow Valley Credit Union, the Malcolm, Ridgewood, GDS, Wildlife Distillery, and the Rocky Mountain Soap Company. Having a look across our sheets here, just one update from our last update is on sheet 4. Armstrong Griffith stole 2 points in that 6th end, giving them a 2-point advantage, up 6-4. While we look around all the sheets, I will remind all of our viewers that 3 of these teams still on the ice are looking for the 1 qualifying berth to the Canadian Mixed Doubles Trials. And so those teams are Gagne Morissette, Armstrong Griffith, and Adams Robichaud. In these quarterfinals, it's whoever makes it the furthest into the event will end up getting that berth, as 5 of the 8 teams in our playoffs have actually already qualified and are therefore not eligible to get a second berth to the trials. So we know on sheet 4, no matter what, one of those two teams will advance to our semifinal round, meaning that on sheet 1, Adams and Robichaud have to win their quarterfinal match against Jones and Lang in order to have a chance to get that qualifying spot. At that point, it is a matter of whoever makes it the furthest along. If both teams meet in the finals, it will be whoever wins that final. If one team makes the final and the other does not, whoever makes it furthest. If both teams end up losing their semifinals, if both teams should advance, then there will be a separate playoff match for essentially the bronze medal, but the single berth that remains, the team has to make it further than another team for that spot to be allocated. And so there is a possibility that that happens. So Andrew, while we're looking around, I'm curious, how is your fours season going? How is your fours play with Team Tau out of the University of Alberta?
It's been going all right. Not as successful as we would have wanted in some events, just not qualifying, but playing some of the top teams is always good to see how you stack up against the very best. But we've done enough as well to pre-qualify for men's provincials, which is going to happen in mid-February in Stettler, Alberta. So we're happy with that.
That's excellent. Congratulations. That's really exciting. It's also an exciting year. Kevin Cooey is still playing out of at the Boston Pizza Cup, the men's provincials in Alberta, and a world-class curler. I mean, he's won the Brier I don't know how many times. So that'll be a stiff competition to say the least. But Brendan Botcher will not be playing in that playdown, and historically you've had to beat both of those teams to get a chance to get out of Alberta, so you must be salivating at least a little bit at the prospect of having possibly a little bit less of that world-class competition, or maybe a little bit more open in terms of the likelihood that someone else can win that provincials.
It's always nice to not have as many top-tier teams in your provincial qualifier to try and make the Brier. While it's nice to play them in some events, everybody wants to get to the Brier, so yes, still some stiff competition there, but we're excited and ready for that to happen.
Absolutely, and I think that right there is some first-hand evidence where there is an advantage of the new pre-qualification system for the Brier and the Scotties happening before the playdowns, allowing teams such as yourself to play in that playdown with possibly a few less teams. And we have seen out of the maritime provinces, especially Newfoundland, with Brad Gushu going on the run of Brier wins that he has, that other teams have been able to get out of that province. And I think that's so important for the game of curling.
So as we're looking, the main focus of the sheets that remain, Gunny Morissette against Armstrong Griffith. Armstrong Griffith have a 6-4 lead right now, playing the 7th end, and of course the winners get to the semifinal, which would be huge and possibly a step closer to a qualification berth for the Olympic mixed doubles trials. While on sheet 1, Jones Laner playing Adams Robichaud, which of course as well has a chance to get to the mixed Canadian trials. Mixed doubles Canadian trials. Sorry.
And it looks like Jones and Lang have blown that one a little bit open with a 3-ender in the 6th, then going up 6-2. So while that game is by no means over and they're still playing, that's just made it that little bit harder for Adams Robichaud to advance to that semifinal round. So we're going to keep an eye on that as well as our game on sheet 4. But it may be that the winner of this game on sheet 4 will be our qualifier, and we'll know that after this draw. We will keep an eye, though, and nothing is over until those hands go out and they shake hands.
So while we've gotten to my curling, your curling career has finished, but it is not also done. So are you thinking of getting back into curling anytime soon?
That's a great question. I am still curling once a week at a league in Edmonton, so trying to keep the skills fresh is probably a bit of an overstatement, but they're still there to some extent, and it's lots of fun. I think the social part of the game is one of the biggest draws at all ages, and for myself, that's absolutely what keeps me coming back, even though I'm not playing as competitively right now. For now, I don't see myself jumping straight back into the traveling every weekend or every couple of weekends. That the little bit of extra time on my hands has definitely been nice. I do miss some aspects of the curling, but I am very happy with the decision to step back a little bit from it and commentate now, I guess.
Yep. So a new venture into the curling world.
Absolutely, and I have intermittently played a little bit of mixed doubles, and that's been lots of fun, and the game is new, and so it feels novel even with the fours experience that I've had going through juniors. And I was actually in this event last year. We were in a pool format, so slightly different. Unfortunately, just lost out on the qualifier round. We had a couple of really good games, dropped a game to Holman and Tyler Tardy, who she was playing with, as well as the duo of Sluchinski, and so 3-2 in our pool did not get us out into the playoffs, and so we just missed that quarterfinal round last year, but it was still a great experience. And for myself, as I mentioned a little earlier, coming home playing on the ice I grew up playing with is pretty special, and knowing the ice makers, knowing the volunteers of the event is pretty awesome. And of course, thank you to all the people who have volunteered for us in this event. It's not possible to happen without all the man hours, all the volunteers who put their time in for the entirety of the weekend, and they show up long before myself as a commentator or the curlers do, and they'll stick around even after Sunday night, getting the ice ready for league starting on Monday, as well as taking down this excellent live stream setup that we have going here.
Yeah, definitely a top tier event here in Banff, and you definitely can't beat the views.
As we look across for an excellent double by Jocelyn Peterman, very thin. Looks like they got 3 there, giving themselves a small advantage. That one has had lots of points scored, but we've now gone up to 8-6 in favor of Peterman Gallant over Holman Botcher, heading into that 7th end. So anyone's game on that end.
Many rocks in play over on that game, a little bit slower than the one over on sheet 4 here, which is now in its 8th end, and we're just waiting for them to post the end 7 scores. Just see what the score is in that, but coming down to the wire, definitely a close game here.
Should also clarify that, again, not all the teams are playing for that qualifying berth, but everyone is playing for a heap of Canadian mixed doubles points, which are helpful for these teams in terms of qualification going forward past the trials, as well as a $30,000 pot of prize money. And so that's a really big pot for a mixed doubles event, and this event's very proud to have that on. So for our round of 12 qualifiers who were eliminated in last night's draw, they walk home with $1,250 each. Our quarterfinalists each get $2,000 for the team, and so that will be the 4 teams that are eliminated in this morning's draw. Those making it to the semifinal will get $3,000. The second place team, the runner-up, will make $4,500, and the winner will bring home $6,500 for their troubles this week in Banff. Banff and Canmore, I should say.
Banff and Canmore, yes. Great partnership with the Canmore Club over there. getting 8 sheets going throughout this weekend, starting on Thursday morning. And it's been great so far.
Absolutely, and I have some fond memories of the Canmore Curling Club. I did most of my junior play here out of Banff growing up in Banff, but I went to school and high school especially in Canmore, which is right down the street from the curling club, and could walk. It takes only about 3 minutes to get from the high school to the curling club, and I was fortunate to play on the high school team. We got a group of 4 guys together and played in our zone championships in my grade 12 year with a couple of coaches from the school and the community, Dennis Martin, Karen Drever, who both were instrumental in getting that team together and getting us out for some practices, making sure we were sliding at the broom, organizing the playdown event that we had, and then we got to head out to the zones event once we had qualified for that. So some pretty special memories for myself from that curling club, getting to play in the high school championships. Did you ever play in the school championships yourself?
I did, yep, in high school. My friends and I convinced a couple of my hockey friends to join the team. I skipped it. And we lost the bronze medal game back in the day, but we went to the provincials a couple times, yep.
Okay, bronze at provincials.
Bronze
That's
at
further
provincials.
than I ever made it, so
yeah.
That is excellent.
Second in the
Congratulations.
Edmonton region it was. Losing to Nick Oak, actually, from St. Albert Catholic High School. I was from Paul Kane High School.
So still waiting for that update from Sheet 4 on the outcome of the 7th end, but we do see the power play employed by Armstrong and Griffith, looking to score maximum points to end that game and hopefully a berth to the trials with it, but we're watching Sheet 1 keenly at the same time to see how the 7th and 8th ends unfold.
It is tied over on Sheet 4, playing in the 8th end. Gunny Morissette scored 2 in 7 to tie it up, so come down to the wire there.
So that power play used defensively in this case, and I suppose that's why we saw that guard go up in that case instead of playing the corner tick or the freeze, trying to generate some offense. And on Sheet 4 there, very nice peel by Tyrell Griffith. At this point, it is just a matter of keeping that draw to the 4-foot open. The player who throws the 1st and the 5th rock is used to that. They throw it all game. There's definitely some pressure when a win is on the line, a spot in the semifinal, and possibly a berth to the mixed doubles trials on the line. But that's the shot that they've been throwing all game. And if I were to put money on any shot for them to make, that's the one that I would want my partner to make. And so I think keeping it open, making those single peels, keeping it nice and straightforward. So Andrew, we have the semi-final round coming at 11:30, so in just over 1 hour's time, and sounds like it'll be us again commentating for that round.
Hopefully you're not sick of us, people, because you got another 2 hours, of us.
The joys of modern television. You can always watch it without the audio. So
we hope you don't have us on mute.
But it is a pleasure to be able to broadcast live from you here in Banff looking out the mountains as we talk, watching the snow slowly melt on this December morning. Unfortunately, it is a little bit warmer than it normally would be, creating a little bit of slush out there, but hopefully it's going to cool off in a little bit. Ski slopes get a little bit less icy, a little bit more powder, and hopefully some of these teams have banked a couple of extra days into their travel plans so that they can go out and hit the slopes and enjoy everything that Banff has to offer this time of year. And on sheet 4, we see an interesting tactic here. They didn't guard the shot rock that was yellow. They guarded the center line. And so now it creates a bit of a conundrum where Team Armstrong-Griffith, have to decide which rock they want to remove. Do they want to get rid of the shot rock, or do they want to peel that center guard? In this case, we see that they elected to hit the shot rock. I don't mind that call at all. You can hit the rock that you know is there. Now they have to make a better one in order for you to not have the same or easier shot. But there is that decision to be made. And now Team Gagné-Muyres can make one that is, in theory, better, meaning closer to the button, right on the center line, making that draw to the forefoot a little bit harder for the win. It's interesting how in very rare circumstances such as this one on sheet 4, the mixed doubles game can turn very much into what you would see in the last end of a fours game where the score is tied, where you have a center guard. You might throw a second center guard depending on the depth of that first one and how much it curls, but it simply is a matter of stocking them up the center, just like in a fours game, and the other team is peeling. We don't see that very often, but in some unique situations like this one, it does mimic itself really closely, leading to an advantage to anyone who's played that in fours and is used to those situations.
And we have a score update from sheet 1. Adams Roby Show scored 2 in N7 to cut down the lead to 6-4 for Jones and Lane. So hoping for a 2 steal here to tie it up.
Absolutely, and that all-important berth to the mixed doubles trials on the line here. We should say that there are still spots available based on Canadian mixed doubles points, and so the points that these teams earn, even if they might not get them into far enough to get that automatic berth, might help contribute to getting points for those other spots that remain. We do not have all the math here trying to figure out who might qualify, but I'm sure in the days following this event, those last qualifiers based on points will be announced and the entire field will be set for those trials. And Andrew, you mentioned the men's provincials a little bit earlier, the Alberta Boston Pizza Cup not long ago. But I believe the highlight or the most important part of your season as a university athlete are those Canada West, the Western qualifier, as well as the U Sports season. Is that right?
Absolutely. We are, at the end of the day, student athletes working on our degrees, and U Sports is a big reason why the program is around and why we're part of that team. And that's a huge goal for us, is to try and win the U Sports champion, be the U Sports champion. Regina last year, we lost to them in the semifinals, and they went on to win. And because of that, they actually get to go to Italy in early January for the World University ad. So good luck to them when they head out there, as well as our U of A Pandas actually are going to be heading there. They have won 3 U Sports in a row, and they are looking to look for 4 in a row, of course, but they're also going to Italy and hopefully trying to win a World University ad.
Absolutely, that's really exciting, and best of luck to the Pandas, the women's team from the University of Alberta, Team Grey Withers, who are heading off alongside the University of Regina men's team. Just goes to show the strength of the field at that university level. You said you lost the semifinal to the eventual winners, and it's even that round robin placement that gets you into the semifinal, as well as a shot here or there. It's so close. It's such a nail biter in terms of the quality of that university curling.
Absolutely, it's definitely improved as well as time's gone on, and everybody keeps on getting better at curling. So looking forward to it this year, but initially you need to qualify through Canada West. And just looking over on sheet 4 here, Gagne Morissette put a nice rock over in the button area, but not quite as buried as they would have liked, and an opportunity for Armstrong to pick it out for the win.
Absolutely, Emilia Gagne making about as good of a shot as possible, if we think about the button being the best place to be, but I don't think it buried quite as much as they had wanted it to, allowing Jennifer Armstrong to just make that go away. All she has to do is move it about 2 feet for them to win the game, as well as possibly winning that berth to the mixed doubles trials, depending on the outcome of sheet 1. So we'll see how this plays out. And clean is always a good sign as it goes into the house, and you can see the excitement on their faces. They know what that means. They know that they have a shot at the trials. Now it's all dependent on what happens on sheet 1 there, and you can see the jubilation, the smiles, and a very well-fought battle on both sides there. Team Gagne Morissette will have to see if, based on points, they are able to make it into the trials. But a very well-fought battle, and congratulations to them for that quarterfinal appearance, and some good points and some good money for them as well.
Yep, very good shot making over there. Was watching it during our feature as well, and lots of good made shots over there.
As we look over to the 2 remaining games, we're talking about the University Curling and the University of Alberta, and we see Brendan Botcher there holding the broom for Rachel Holman. He is a product of the University of Alberta Golden Bears as well, winning both the CIS as well as, a World Juniors in his time there as well. So very successful Golden Bear curler.
And he's transferred that to the men's game pretty well, winning a Brier as well.
Absolutely,
and
one of the best, and now joining
Team Gushu.
Brad Gushu, and we'll see how that plays out for them. It looks as though Holman Botcher there took 1 in the 7th end, so now they have to steal at least 1 in order to go to an extra end, or a multiple to end the game in their favor in 8 ends. As we watch Rachel Holman throw her first rock in this 8th end, is there anything different that you would do trying to steal versus another end?
You just really want to make sure there's lots of rocks in play, and initially play to the middle is a good thing. Peterman and Gallant don't have their opportunity to use their power play, so a good start, and now you just need to make sure you get your yellow rocks in good positions.
Yeah, it's a unique format. You essentially have to play offensively. Either team could get 2 or 3 in this last end because Jocelyn Peterman is not able to peel the guard, and by the time Brett Gallant is able to do that on the 4th delivered stone of the end, there's already enough clutter, if you will, in the house and possibly other more bigger priorities trying to get shot rock rather than simply being able to peel the guard. So typically the defensive strategy we don't see used as much because it typically isn't as successful unless the other team doesn't make their shots very well.
And now looking over on sheet 1, Jennifer Jones and Brett Lane are throwing, or Brett Lane's last shot, so the second last one at the end. Leave another peel, trying to remove as many yellows as they can if possible. They currently hold a 2-point lead.
Yeah, and I think best case scenario is not looking at a loss is typically the way we like to frame it. So a nose hit against 2, make it go away, rather than having to draw against 3 or 4, which is a little bit stressful knowing that the game is on the line. So you play the first 7 ends to give yourself a nice cushion, and then you hope that you don't have to make the best possible shot in your last one. And no mistake there by Brent Lang. That is an excellent shot, meaning that no matter what, there will be an open rock for Jennifer Jones to hit on her last one.
Yep, great double there, and even removed one of their own, which actually might have been an opportunity for them to freeze too, so they are definitely okay with that. Great result.
And as we bounce back and forth, Jocelyn Peterman will not be happy with her first throw. They had a real opportunity to get around that top 12-foot guard by Rachel Holman on her first and really make it hard for Team Holman-Botcher to score, let alone make them look at a steal. At this point, the only solace is that those 2 guards are close enough that it's an easy double peel. But seeing a 3rd rock in a row come up light, I imagine that the ice is starting to break down a little bit.
Yeah, it's starting to slow down, so it won't be as quick as it was earlier in the game, and just didn't quite catch on to it on that throw in particular, but we'll see if Gallant here can make a big peel up front.
Absolutely, and when we say the ice is breaking down, for those who perhaps don't curl as much, what does that actually mean? How does the ice feel different, or what's going on that changes the properties of the ice so it slows down?
So the little pebbles that they prep the ice with get worn down as rocks go down them, broom sweep, and of course creates more friction for the rocks as they glide down the ice, which makes it slower, feels slower as a thrower. So you just need to add a little more weight than you would have previously earlier in the game.
And we'll turn our attention to the last throw, or possibly the last throw of the game on sheet 1 between Jones Lang and Adams Robichaud. Jennifer Jones just needs to make one of those 2 yellows disappear, and I imagine she's hitting the one that's closest to the center line, the path that they've been throwing all game and know very well. This for them means a berth to means a spot in the semifinals at 11:30. Means more points, more prize money, but it also could mean a berth to the trials for Team Armstrong-Griffith should Jennifer Jones make this shot based on classification and knowing that all the other teams that have made the semifinal already have qualifier berths to the trials. Seeing no panic from either of them, it looks like this is very nice as it comes in.
Just a nice clean right to the rock.
And makes it go away. And with that, Jennifer Jones and Brent Lang have booked their spot in the semifinal and will be playing Team Lott and Lott. And we await the winner of the Holman-Botcher game to play Armstrong and Griffith. With that, it would appear as though Team Armstrong-Griffith have earned the berth into the Canadian Mixed Doubles Trials, so congratulations to them on a well-earned berth there. At this point, there is still money and points to be played for, so the event is by no means over for the 4 teams who are still in this event. I should say 5. We still have to crown a winner on sheet 2 here. And a really nice shot by Brett Gallant there. That rock in the back forefoot, while it was shot rock, it is behind the tee line, which means that Team Homan-Bottcher can use it to freeze down to, making Jocelyn Peterman's last shot a little bit more difficult. Similar to what we saw on sheet 4, it is a matter of keeping that forefoot open. Jocelyn Peterman's been throwing that all game, and so you just want to leave her the button, the forefoot, so that she can make that last shot and score 1.
Just a little light on that one from Brendan. Was trying to have a piece of the button there, but
and it looks like Brett Gallant is eyeing up that run back. He may or may not choose to play it, but that just goes to show the confidence of someone such as himself to even consider that. You know, we talked about the likelihood of making run back based on the distance between those rocks, and we can see here we're well over 10 feet, and so the fact that he would even consider that indicates that he's very confident in his ability to hit the broom, throw the right weight, and know exactly how much it's supposed to curl. It does look like he's just hitting the thrown rock from the last one based on that broom position, though. All right, with 1 rock left for each team, it's simply a matter of getting closest to the button. Homan-Bottcher are fortunate they have that outside catcher, which just has that slight mental difference for Jocelyn Peterman. She knows that she can hit the 12-foot. She can do it with her eyes closed, but knowing that if the rock picks, and we saw that in our feature game here, that they could lose the game. And I think that's really important that Brendan Bottcher, Rachel Holman make this really good, but then there's also that little added piece. How much does that affect the skip, or in this case, the last rock thrower?
absolutely. It's always something in the back of your mind. And I guess we'll decide putting Bottcher and Homan putting that right in the forefoot, so would make the draw very difficult. So it looks like they are going to elect to make a nose hit, try and hit it. But as we said earlier, hits in mixed doubles are a different beast compared to hits in a forest game. But no doubt she's confident she can make it.
Absolutely. I think just confirming the exact weight they want to throw, the exact line where they want to imagine the broom with no actual broom for Jocelyn Peterman on this shot. And those things are important. She does have to stick around here because of that 12-foot rock. Again, that's really the importance of that. If it was simply a matter of getting rid of it, she could have thrown it like Jennifer Jones really hard, just made sure that it disappears from the rings. But she does have to have that added level of precision given that outside catcher. Talked about the ice breaking down. Another thing they have to think about with that breakdown is the slide path. So we slide from both sides, which means that the rock, the end where all the rocks are in play right now is where last end, and in all the other odd ends, the throwers were sliding, and they all tend to slide very close to the center line, which is exactly where this rock is being thrown. And with all those rocks going over it, the pebble flattens down quicker than everywhere else, which means it just changes speed, changes how the rocks react that little bit extra compared to the rest of the sheet.
And no panic here, and well done right on the nose.
No problem
Good
at
game
all.
on sheet 2. We'll see Peterman Gallant into the semifinals at 11:30.
Absolutely, and with that, we will sign off in just a moment, but we'll give the last word to our excellent sponsors, without whom this would not be possible. So we have Vision Electronics, Distinctive Homes, Mary's Popcorn Shop, the Bow Valley Credit Union, the Malcolm, Ridgewood, GDS, Wildlife Distillery, and the Rocky Mountain Soap Company. So once again, thank you to all these sponsors who make this possible, and we will see you all back for our semifinal game at 11:30.